Say hello to Scout. Scout's with me. He doesn't like fast fashion either, right? I'll take that as a yes. Hello friends, and welcome to my channel. Welcome back if you've been here before, and if not, hello. My name is Emily Strubing. That's the German way of saying it. I'm half German, dual citizen, and fluent in the language. So I like to say my name the right way, and that's why I have the U with the umlaut in my profile name. But that's beside the point. Welcome. I'm happy you're here. Today we're going to be talking about easy, affordable ways to have a more sustainable wardrobe. And this is a little bit of a different video for me. Normally I do sewing tutorials, especially upcycling and swimwear. Those are my favorites. But the reason that I do that is because it's my way of not contributing to fast fashion. And I know that there are a lot of people who have heard about the negative impacts of fast fashion and want to do something about it, but feel like they don't know where to start. Especially because I feel like we talk about the problems a lot, but don't talk about the solutions and what we can actually do as consumers. So that's what this video is about. Before we go any further, I know I have given you no reason to yet if you just met me, but don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button and all that good stuff. So now I'm actually going to get started. First things first, if you don't know what fast fashion is, that is, well, which you probably do if you're watching this video, so skip ahead if you know what it is. But if you don't, so fast fashion is the term that refers to the way clothes are made in a really fast and cheap way, basically. That's generally, it's generally a huge amount of production that's meant to keep up with trends, and they're made really low quality and really fast, just to get as much out there as quickly as possible. So some examples of fast fashion brands include like Forever 21, Zara, Pretty Little Thing, even Fashion Nova, at least from the research that I've done. Those are all examples of fast fashion brands. And while they might have some very cute options, they're not great for the planet or for the people making that clothing. So if you want to do better, then keep listening. I have some different ideas for you that might be helpful. Also, if you want to know more about fast fashion in general and how it's actually impacting our environment and the people that are making the clothing, I have an article linked below that I wrote that's very in-depth, and it also, I'll put in a playlist here of a bunch of YouTube videos I put together that talk about fast fashion. So if you want to do a deep dive and learn more about it, click on one of those links. But otherwise, to give you kind of a little overview, fast fashion, there's huge overproduction of clothing, and like 60% of it ends up in landfills, which is obviously not great. It's polluting the environment in other ways as well, because there are dyes and chemicals used in the making of clothing that are going into water streams, and normally the people making the clothes aren't working in great conditions. It's there's a lot of maltreatment of workers, and it goes all the way back to even the way that fabrics are made, especially in cotton picking. That's a huge area for child and slave labor. So yeah, there are all these negative things going on throughout the entire supply chain. So this isn't something that's going to change overnight. Fast fashion is an issue that's built up over many years, and it's going to take many years to change. That's just a fact, unfortunately. But as consumers, we hold so much more power than you might think. And that's why I wanted to make this video, to show you just how much you can do. Because let's be honest, you are part of the issue. I'm part of the issue. We all are. Most of us, at least, have bought from fast fashion brands before, and I'm not blaming you. This is not to shame anyone. I have done it many a time myself, but we can do better, and there are so many other easy options. So the first thing I want to talk about, my first recommendation, is if you absolutely need new clothes, buy from a sustainable and ethical brand. I know this one sounds pretty obvious, but there is this misconception that there are only really expensive sustainable brands out there, but there are others that are cheap and sustainable as well. And just to throw out a few, I'll link them below also. But to talk about a few, there's Pact. Mud Jeans has a circular system where they'll take back jeans and recycle them into new jeans. Another one I wanted to talk about is Change, CHNGE. What I love about them, aside from the fact that they have just like super cool clothes, is that they use their platform to take a stand. You know, their brand is all about talking about social issues and using their message and their brand for good. So right now, if you go to their website, you'll notice that they have all like Black Lives Matter t-shirts and masks and stuff, and they've raised over $200,000 at this point for the Black Lives Matter movement. And yeah, that's what they always do. So generally they'll have more t-shirts and sweatpants and sweatshirts that contain a little bit of all these different social causes, but right now I think it's only centered around that. So if you're interested in supporting BLM some more, check out this brand. And also that it's made ethically and sustainably. They're very transparent about how and where their clothes are made, so go check them out. They're very cool, and they're doing a lot of good. So that was one that I definitely wanted to mention. There are two more I wanted to talk about really fast. Eco Vibe is another one that has things for men, women, they have accessories, and it's really cool because their mission is about making sustainable and ethical clothing affordable. So their brand's literally just doing this for us. Like, they want to make it as easy as possible. So that's another one, and they also support minority and women and family-owned businesses. So they are trying to do good in every aspect of their business. Another one is Tentree. So they also have items for women, men, kids. They have a whole bunch of different options. And the awesome thing about them, and it's pretty self-explanatory from the name, but whenever you buy something, they plant 10 trees. And at this point, they have planted over 46 million trees, and their goal is to hit 1 billion by 2030, which will make such a huge impact for the environment. Like, this is huge, and these are right at our fingertips. So these are the places that we need to start supporting. Also, because as consumers, we hold the power. Wherever we start putting our money, that's where the fashion industry will put their focus and effort into. So start buying sustainably, and more of these options are going to pop up. So that is the first thing that I wanted to talk about. Secondly, if you want to buy more clothes sustainably, I know this one is pretty obvious, but go to thrift stores. I don't know how it is necessarily in other countries. I know I've read some comments abroad that they're not necessarily as accessible, but at least like in the US, they are everywhere. And I know it can be hard to find things. They're not always the most fashionable of clothes, but you can find some really nice quality stuff there. You just you have to do some searching, but that's half the fun anyway. It's honestly, there's nothing more satisfying than searching through all those racks and finding just like amazing clothes for $2 or something. Like, I went to a wedding recently and got this beautiful dress for $6. And it's good for the environment and good for my wallet. So there's no reason not to do it. I know they don't always necessarily have the cutest of items. Some of them need some work. But that leads me perfectly into my third suggestion, which is learning to sew. Of course I'm going to talk about this. This is what my channel is about, is sewing. But it really is just such a good life skill, people. Like, why do we not all know how to do this? It's so easy. It's so fun and relaxing when it goes right. But like, there's no reason not to do it. It has come in handy so many times since I learned to sew. And that way you can keep using your clothes. If they don't fit right anymore, you can turn them into something new. Or when you go to the thrift store, you can turn those things into something new. Or even just for shopping in general. Like, you never have to worry about how things fit anymore, because you can fit it perfectly to your body and make everything look incredible on you. So if you want to learn more about sewing, of course, I gotta plug my channel. Watch my other videos. I do a bunch of upcycling tutorials and show you all of these easy ways that you can use clothes you already own. Like, you don't even need to buy a pattern. You can use what you have to make new things that you know will fit and look incredible on you. So that is a really good option. And if you're interested in learning to sew, I also will link below this article I wrote about the best sewing machines for beginners that are also affordable. Yeah, I feel like I'm just ranting about how great sewing is right now, but it is. Do it, people. You won't regret it. Alrighty. My next affordable suggestion I'm super excited about because I only recently found out about it myself, but it is so nice, and it's also a very affordable thing that you can do. So I don't know if you've heard of microplastics. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. If you have not, here's the gist. So our clothes are made out of a lot of polyesters and nylons that have plastic in them. And every single time that we wash our clothes, little tiny microplastics are washed out of them and go into the water stream and eventually make their way to the ocean. And all of these different places, I'll pop up some articles now, have done research on this and found these microplastics all over the world, like literally in the deepest depths of the ocean, all the way to Antarctica. These plastics are everywhere. They've even been finding them in the air because they go into the water system, and when it rains, microplastics come down with them. And what's happening is that fish will eat them, and then we ingest those fish, and it's adding to all of the plastic that's already in the ocean. And despite them being so small, it's adding to the plastic and to the pollution in a big way. But the good news is, and I didn't know this until recently, like I said, is that there is such an easy solution for it. And that's what this is. Oh, it's upside down. That's what this is. It's called a Guppyfriend washing bag. And all you do, I'll show you what it is. So you get this washing bag, and all you do is put your clothes in it when you wash them, and this will catch the microplastics. So it's a very, very easy solution if that's something that you're also worried about and you want to help in that regard. I only had heard about the issue but nothing to do about it before until I heard of this bag. And I think it's such a nice, easy solution, and it's also very cheap. So this one was $35 directly from their website. Also, who else sells it? I think Patagonia sells it, and Tentree does for $30 or so. I'll link all of those below. But this is such an easy, cheap thing that you can do to keep that plastic from going into the ocean. So that was my fourth recommendation. To finish things off, I know this one won't be popular and maybe it's not what you want to hear, but quit buying so much. Quit buying so many clothes and quit buying from fast fashion brands. I am telling you, you don't need it. We all have so many clothes already. Most of them we don't even wear. And if you do need something new, I've listed off all these other places you can buy from that are a much better and more sustainable option. The thing is, we are, whenever we buy from these brands, we are falling right into their marketing trap. They're telling us that we need new clothes, we need new this, we need new that, we need to look like celebrities and influencers, and have to keep up with all of the trends, and it's just not true. They're brainwashing us successfully, we fall right into it. So don't listen to the marketing, be strong, and quit buying so much. I'm telling you, you don't need it. I don't need it. I had a problem with it in the past, but I'm telling you, I stopped buying from these brands completely and I don't miss it at all. And I feel so much better about it. Okay, so yes, I'm gonna do one last little bonus tip that I just thought of. An easy thing that you can do when you are shopping, if you don't know whether or not a brand is sustainable and ethical, one thing that you can do is look up their website, see if they talk about their practices and where they get their fabrics and where their clothes are made, if it's a fair trade company. Odds are, if they're not transparent about it, okay, well, let's put it this way. Odds are, if they're transparent about it, they're at least trying to make a difference and trying to be sustainable in some way. If not, then odds are they are not doing those things, because otherwise that's something that they would be proud to tell us about. You know what I mean? But if you're still unsure or you don't want to take the time to look up a brand, this app called Good On You has done all the work for us already. So all you do, and I'll put up a screenshot of what this looks like, but there's this little bar right here where you just type in the brand that you're looking for. Let's say I'm gonna look up H&M and see what they have to say about that. So they have a rating of 1 to 5, 5 being the best, and H&M's rating is 3. And then you can read more about their practices and how good or bad they are. And if that one isn't good, just go below and you'll see other recommended brands that are better, that are similar in terms of price and what they offer, but that are much more sustainable and ethical. So that is a super easy thing to do when you're unsure going forward, and if you want to make better decisions, just look it up on this app. And if they don't have a store on there, you can just send in a suggestion and they'll add it to the app. So that is a really easy way to make better decisions going forward. And also, don't beat yourself up about the things that you already have. We've all bought from fast fashion brands, and the best thing is to get the most use out of that clothing that you can. Like, use what you have, love your clothes for longer, wear them for longer. This is the whole like slow fashion concept. And these are all steps in that direction. So those are my now 6 easy tips for what you can do to have a more sustainable wardrobe on a budget. I hope this was helpful. I hope you try them out. Let me know if you have any suggestions to add to this list. I'll make a blog post about this too, and I'll just keep updating it as I come up with more ideas of things that you can do. But yeah, I would love to know your thoughts, and if you guys have started moving toward a sustainable wardrobe. If so, what has your experience been like? Because I know it's not always an easy transition, despite there being these options out there. We just get so used to doing what we know and buying from the brands that we are accustomed to. So I want to know what your experience is like. If you liked any of these tips, if you're going to try them out, tell me. I want to know. Also, if you're a sewer, tell me what you want to see. I'm making a whole bunch of new videos right now. Yeah, that's it. I'm going to quit blabbing. Of course, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell. I'll be doing a whole lot more of these. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.